I want you to think about the last time you were really genuinely excited about a future event. Not a big life event, just something on the calendar you kept thinking about. Maybe it was dinner with a friend, a trip you booked, a show you were waiting to watch, even just knowing that Friday was coming. Now think about how different those weeks felt. Lighter somehow, like you had something to hold onto in the middle of the boring, hard, or busy days. Well, that's not a coincidence. That's not you being simple or easily entertained. That's anticipation doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And here's the part that worries me a little. I think a lot of us have quietly stopped having things to look forward to. We fill our calendars with obligations and errands and things that we have to do, and we forget to put anything on there that's fun and light, something to look forward to just because we want to. So today I want to talk about why that matters more than it seems like it should, and how to build something to look forward to back into your actual regular week, not just your yearly vacation. If you've been feeling a little flat lately, like the days are just running together, stay with me because this one is for you. Hey loves, welcome back to the Perfect Sunday podcast for women who care about doing the inner work and want the outer glow. I'm not an expert, I'm just a woman who's been paying attention and figuring things out along the way. Today, we're talking about anticipation, the quiet, underrated force behind so much of adult happiness. Why the things we look forward to don't have to be big to do the work. What's actually happening in your brain and your body when you have something to hold on to, and exactly how to build more of it into your week starting now. But first, let's go over this week's Sunday obsession. So I just got back from my trip to Maui, and with all the sunscreen, humidity, and traveling, my skin is reacting. It's not something that I deal with very much anymore, but it's definitely not new to me either. Throughout my 20s and 30s, I dealt with a lot of breakouts. Mostly they were cystic acne, which are the really hard, inflamed bumps under your skin that just never go away. But luckily, after I started taking my thyroid medication, my hormones were better balanced and my skin pretty much cleared up. So much so that I almost forgot about my high frequency wand, which is one of my favorite skincare tools, especially when I am breaking out. And it is also my current weekly obsession. If you don't know about this little gadget, please allow me to explain. In very non-scientific terms, it is basically these little glass rods that produce a mild electrical current, which creates oxygen molecules on the skin surface. As you glide the rod across your face, the oxygen that's generated kills bacteria that contributes to your breakouts, and it reduces inflammation by calming the redness and swelling around active breakouts. It improves your circulation, which helps the healing. And because it also has a slight drying effect, it can help reduce oil and speed up healing again. So it's not painful, but you do feel a slight little electric zap. And that is why I have always called it my zapper. But I first learned about these tools when I was getting facials at Dermalogica, like maybe 13 years ago. This was definitely when my skin was at its worst. And I've had one of these under my counter at home ever since. Like I said, I don't need to use it very often anymore. But when I do occasionally break out, like I did this week, I use the high frequency wand to zap any blemishes a couple of times, and they disappear way faster than if I hadn't used it at all. So if your teens or friends that you know deal with acne, I highly suggest adding a high frequency wand to your skincare routine. And I will link the one that I own and have been using in the show notes. And my usual disclaimer, I am not a therapist or a life coach. Everything in this episode is what I've observed, learned, and what's worked for me. I hope that it's helpful to you too, but please take what is useful and leave the rest. All right, let's get into it. So I have always been a dreamer and a planner. I really love nothing more than being able to sit in silence with a pen and paper and create a whole vision of what I want to do in life. Both the little things I want to do this month and the grand plans that may take years to create. And what I've realized is that it doesn't matter if some of the things never come to be. What was most important was having something to look forward to. And this was especially true in the times that life was extra challenging. I was the main and sole caretaker for my mom and my best friend while they were battling cancer. And there isn't a timeline you can control with something like that, nor do you really want there to be. My mom had 5 months from the time that she was diagnosed, and Matt had 3 years from the time of his diagnosis before we lost them. And I'm glad and grateful that I got to be there to care for the people that I love. But when you're in that space, when you're going through something like that, life becomes about the right now, the struggles and the realities of the present moment. And even the idea of planning something small is hard to do or even be excited about. What to speak of things like birthdays, traveling, or life milestones. And after they were gone, I worked on finding my way back to some form of normalcy and clawing my way through depression. One thing that I eventually realized is that I had nothing in life that I was looking forward to. Not because there was nothing, but because I had stopped adding those moments, the little things that I could be excited about, to my calendar and to my life. Once I realized this, I made a conscious decision to start creating things to look forward to every single week. And with that change, life slowly got lighter, happier, better, and I started to look forward to just living life again. So I want to start with what's actually happening when you have something to look forward to, because I think this is the part that most of us never really stop to think about. And here's what I have come to understand about it. A huge amount of the joy and anticipation doesn't come from the thing itself. It comes from the anticipating, the planning, the countdown, the little daydream you have about it in the shower or on your drive to work. That stretch of time before the thing happens is doing real emotional work, separate from the event itself, which means you're not just getting one hit of happiness on the day of, you're getting a slow trickle of it every single day leading up to it. Think about the last vacation you took. If you're honest with yourself, some of the best moments weren't even during the trip. They were the weeks before, looking at photos of where you were going to go, thinking about what you'd pack, telling people about it. That's not you being silly or getting ahead of yourself. That's a real, legitimate source of joy that most of us don't give ourselves credit for. And here's the piece, I think, that matters even more. Having something to look forward to gives you a place to put your attention that isn't just get through today. When life is heavy or boring or just full of errands and obligations, a future thing you're excited about acts like a handhold, something to reach for in your mind when the day in front of you isn't offering very much. It doesn't erase the hard day, but it does give you somewhere to go, even just in your thoughts for a few minutes. I also think it does something for your stress levels, even if you can't feel it happening in the moment. When your whole week is just obligation after obligation, with nothing you're actually excited about, your body reads that as one long, flat grind, and that adds up. But when there's something ahead that you actually want, even if it's something small, it gives your nervous system a break, a reason to exhale for a second. It's a small thing, but it's not nothing. So that's the foundation. Anticipation isn't a bonus feeling on top of a good life. It's one of the actual ingredients of a good life. And most of us have let it quietly run out or even forget to add it in altogether. So here's where I think most of us get this wrong. We treat something to look forward to like it has to be a vacation, a big purchase, or a life milestone. Something that takes months of saving or planning to earn. And because those things are rare, we go long stretches with nothing at all on the horizon and then wonder why the weeks all blur together. But the thing I want you to understand is this: the size of the thing has almost nothing to do with how much joy it gives you. What matters is that it's yours, that it's coming, and that you actually want it. A Friday night ritual can do just as much for you emotionally as a trip to Europe. It just does it in smaller, more frequent doses instead of one giant one. I think that we've been trained to feel like it's almost silly or indulgent to be excited about something small, like getting genuinely happy about a trip to your favorite coffee shop, lunch with a friend, or a new season of your favorite show getting ready to come back on. We think that these little things are somehow less valid than being excited about a big vacation. But I think that's backwards, because the small stuff is actually better for you because you can have it constantly instead of just once or twice or a handful of times during the year. So here's what I want you to try letting go of: the idea that anticipation has to be earned through scale, because it doesn't. A $20 dinner with a friend that you actually enjoy talking to can give you the exact same lift as something that costs $1,000. Sometimes even more, because you don't have to wait months for it. You can have something small to look forward to every single week, which means you can have this feeling almost constantly instead of rationing it out a few times a year. Something that I look forward to every week, maybe more than anything else, is my Saturday mornings. After a long, busy week of doing everything for the kids and everything being so scheduled, the only thing that I want to be able to do is have a slow morning. I can't really sleep in because I am so used to waking up at the same time every single day, but not having to rush through the morning feels like such a luxury, and it doesn't cost anything. I have my tea while I sit and journal, and maybe I'll do a face mask and read a book. Those few hours where I'm just being lazy and lying in bed are my favorite of the week. Not only do I take that time very seriously, but I always look forward to it. Now, there is another side of this that also destroys our anticipation and excitement. And I know that at first it might feel a little bit counterintuitive. We live in a world built to give us everything immediately. Whatever you want to watch, you can watch it right now. Whatever you want to eat, it can show up at your door in 20 minutes or less. Whatever you want to buy, it could be at your house tomorrow. And on paper, that sounds like a win. Less waiting, more convenience. But here's the thing: the waiting was never just an inconvenience that we were tolerating. The waiting was where a lot of the joy actually lived. When you had to wait a week for your favorite show's next episode, that whole week had a little hum of anticipation running under it. You always had something you know that you were looking forward to. Now, everything's available at once, and there's nothing left pulling you forward. I think this is part of why so many of us feel a little flat, even when we technically have access to more than anything at any point ever in history. We've optimized the waiting out of our lives, and in doing that, we accidentally optimized out a real source of happiness. Instant gratification gives you a quick hit in the moment, but it doesn't give you the days and days of slow building excitement that the delayed gratification does. So the reframe is this: waiting isn't just something to tolerate on the way to getting what it is that you want. Waiting, when it's for something you're genuinely excited about, is part of the reward, which means it's worth building delay back into your life on purpose. Deciding not to binge the whole season in one weekend, planning something a few weeks out instead of doing it on impulse tomorrow, saving something rather than having it immediately, waiting until your birthday for a special purchase instead of going out and buying it tomorrow because you can. Not because deprivation is virtuous, but because the anticipation itself is a source of joy that you're currently skipping past. Now, another thing that is worth talking about is this: There's a difference between having something to look forward to and living for the next thing because you can't stand being where you currently are in life. If every single day feels like something to just get through until the weekend, the trip, the birthday, the someday, that's not the healthy version of what we've been talking about. That's using the future as an escape hatch from a present you've stopped trying to actually be in. So here is how I have learned to tell the difference. Healthy anticipation adds something on top of life you're still showing up for. You can be excited about Friday and still have a decent Tuesday. Unhealthy anticipation is when the good thing on the calendar is the only reason the rest of the days feel bearable at all. When you catch yourself thinking, I just have to get through this week, on repeat, week after week, with nothing about the actual days themselves that you're willing to enjoy. So if you ever notice that you're feeling like you're just looking forward to a said moment or event, and it feels like that has quietly become your only coping strategy, that is worth paying attention to. Something to look forward to should be seasoning on a life that you're still present for and enjoying, and it should not be the only bite of it that tastes like anything at all. The goal was never to escape today. It was to make today a little bit lighter by giving you somewhere good to glance towards. Now, I just want to say, you're allowed to be genuinely, fully excited about things that other people might call boring or small. It could be something as small as your favorite show coming back on, a workout class you enjoy, buying a new candle you like lighting in the evening, your dinner reservation, a phone call with your sister. You don't need your excitement to be impressive to anyone else for it to count. I think a lot of us quietly downgrade our own joy because we're embarrassed by how small the thing is that is actually making us happy. We'll oftentimes say that the little thing is dumb before ever admitting that we're excited about something. And I want you to notice that instinct and drop it. It's not dumb. Getting real, consistent joy out of a small, cheap, easy to access thing is not a character flaw. It's actually a skill. And it's one of the most efficient ways to have a genuinely happier life without needing a bigger budget or a bigger life to fund it. So this week, if you catch yourself excited about something small, let yourself have it fully. Don't minimize it. Don't apologize for it. Don't compare it to something bigger someone else has going on. Small joy is still joy. And the woman who can get genuinely excited about a Tuesday night plan is going to have a lot more good days than the woman who's saving all of her excitement for the rare big thing. Okay, so here is what's actually worked for me to keep something to look forward to in rotation pretty much all of the time. First, I always have something in my calendar, even if it's small. For me, this looked like making a rule for myself that I'm never allowed to have a completely empty week ahead. There always has to be at least one thing on there that's just for my enjoyment, not out of obligation. It doesn't have to be something that's big. It can be something small like a lunch at my favorite cafe, a workout class that I enjoy, a walk with a friend, or solo. You know, that's my jam. And I always have a show that I'm going to watch Friday night. I generally only watch TV on the weekends. So getting cozy on the couch with a big bowl of fruit and the remote is one of my favorite things that I look forward to every week. The rule isn't about planning something amazing. The rule is to just never let the calendar go completely dry. Always have something to look forward to, no matter how small it is. Then the second thing that I do is to stack the anticipation in layers. So daily, weekly, and then further out. What I have found helpful is having something small to look forward to just about daily, then something a little bigger for this week. So that is a standing plan, like a weekly lunch or dinner date with a friend, a Pilates class on Thursday morning, something small like that you can count on doing every week. And then you have something further out on the horizon, which could be by month or seasonally. Things like a trip that you're planning, could be a weekend getaway, a big event or a play, the ballet, a dance, something that's a month or two away. And that way, there's always the next thing that's going to be coming up for you to look forward to, either in the near or distant future. Third is to let yourself do the daydreaming. Don't rush past it. This is the part that people skip. When you have something coming up, actually spend a few minutes imagining it. Picture what you're going to wear, what it'll feel like, who you'll tell about it. That's not wasted time. Remember, that's where a big chunk of the joy actually lives. So give yourself permission to just enjoy the before and not just the during. The fourth thing that I started doing is protect a little bit of the delay on purpose. If there's a show you love, don't always binge the whole thing in one sitting. Save an episode for tomorrow or for the weekend. If there's a treat that you love, don't always have it on hand. Let yourself want it for a day or two before you go out and buy it. This one takes practice because everything in our lives is built to remove the weight, but a little bit of intentional delay makes the good stuff just hit a little bit harder. The fifth thing is to make one of your things a repeating one, a standing weekly plan. So same day, same time, if you can, means that you never have to start from zero looking for something to look forward to. It's already there, waiting for you every single week. I know that I've talked about this before on the show, and it keeps coming back because it works. Pick one thing, put it on repeat, and let it be the thing that you can always count on having ahead of you. And lastly, number 6, which this one might be my favorite. Anticipation multiplies when you share it. So text a friend the second you book something, talk about the trip out loud at dinner. Let your kids help you plan the small thing that you're doing together this weekend. It's not just about having someone to talk to. It's that saying it out loud, planning it with someone, makes it feel more real, and it gives you a reason to bring it up again and again in the days before. Looking forward to something alone is good, but looking forward to it with someone else is even better. And I do want to be real about something before we move on, because none of this requires extra money or a wide open schedule. If you're a single mom, a caretaker, or just stretched thin right now, something to look forward to can be a 5-minute phone call that you have scheduled with a friend. It could be a specific song you save for your commute, or the one show that you let yourself watch after the kids are asleep. It doesn't have to cost anything, and it doesn't have to take long either. The size of the plan is never the point. The point is just having something that's yours and that is waiting for you. And if you're in a season where you genuinely can't think of anything that you're looking forward to, that's useful information and not a failure. It usually means it's time to start planning something, even something teeny, on purpose. Don't wait for excitement to show up on its own. Go put something on the calendar and let that anticipation build from there. So here is the challenge for this week. Look at your calendar right now, today, and check. Is there at least one thing on there in the next 2 weeks that's just for you? Just because you want it and not because you have to do the thing. If there is, good. Notice it. Let yourself actually look forward to it this week. And if there isn't, put one thing on the calendar today. It can be small: dinner, lunch, a class, a cafe, a plan with a friend, an hour blocked off for something that you love to do. Just make sure there's something ahead of you that is there just for you. In closing, these are the 3 things that I would like for you to take into your week before I let you go. 1 is that a huge amount of the joy in anything you're excited about happens before it even happens, in the daydreaming, the planning, the countdown. So don't rush past that part. Let yourself enjoy the before and not just the during. 2, it does not have to be big. A small, cheap, easy to access thing to look forward to every single week will do far more for your day-to-day happiness than one big thing you wait all year for. So stop saving your excitement for the rare occasions and let yourself have it constantly in the small doses. And number 3, if you can't think of anything that you're looking forward to right now, that's not a failure. It's just a sign that it's time to plan something. Don't wait for the excitement to find you. Instead, put something on the calendar, even something tiny, and just let the anticipation start doing its job. And one last thing, because it matters. This isn't me saying to live only for the next thing and check out of today, out of the present moment. Something to look forward to should make your life lighter, not become the only part of it that you are willing to enjoy. So let it be the seasoning, not the escape. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with another woman who you think would enjoy it too. And if you haven't yet, please follow the show, leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps the show grow, and I truly, truly appreciate it. And also come find me on Instagram at Monty_Wheeler. Say hi, ask any questions, or leave some comments. I always love hearing from you. Thank you for spending your Sunday with me, and I will talk to you next week. Love you.